Okay, welcome back to another episode of Third and 23. My name's Alex. If you guys remember, I put out the NCAA football preview, or my personal NCAA football preview, about a week ago or so, and I wanted to get into now my weekly prediction. Talk over some of the big games of each week. Here on your screen, listed out. Oh, before I get into it, sorry I'm not on camera. I actually have COVID, and I kind of look like I have COVID, so. Decided not to be on camera for this episode, but next week, I assume I should be good to go. So first thing up first is I wanted to talk about, in my opinion, the bigger games of the weekend. Not the most, electrifying weekend we've got for us going on this opening week of college football, but we're going to talk about some of the big games and my picks. First starting off with Colorado at TCU. I know not really a big game, but Deion Sanders at Colorado, the amount of hype this is getting is more than you see a one-win football team getting in the following season. I actually like a lot of things Deion Sanders has done there. He's revamped the roster. He's got a lot of really good. He brought in his son at quarterback, who was thought of as a pretty good QB coming out of high school. Shador Sanders. He went out at running back and got Cavassier Smoke from Kentucky, who was a pretty solid back out there. Uh, he got Travis Hunter to come with him from Jackson State, who I believe is playing both ways. So explosive athlete they're gonna have outside. But they also have Jimmy Horn's son from USF. If you guys remember, Horn from the Saints, his son played for USF. Pretty electrifying player. So he's got him out there. So I think he's got some skilled players that are going to be able to football, right? Defensively, you know, Dominic from Arkansas was actually a player. Um, they, he kept. I'm sorry, he brought in Taj also. He got some guys up front. I'm not seeing like superior difference makers on the defensive side of the ball in the front seven, and that's something where they struggle stopping the running game. But in the back end, when you got Travis Hunter back there, uh, they bought super freshman Cormani McClain out of the recruit out of this year's class. Miles Slusher, actually, I always actually thought he was a player, a really good safety out of Arkansas. That was a great pickup, in my opinion. I think on the back end, I think they're actually gonna be pretty good. But the front seven, stopping the running game, I think that's gonna be their big weakness for Colorado this season. And then, of course, depth also is going to be an issue, but that's going to be something that they got to deal with later on in the year. TCU, I mean, everybody just looks at the name TCU, and they kind of, I think everybody forgets that this is actually, if you want to call them the national runner-up last year. I mean, I know they got absolutely blasted by Georgia, and kind of looked like they didn't even same field. But they are, they did make it to the national championship game last year. I think a lot of people forget that. They got a lot of people. They got a lot of pieces they got to replace on the offensive side of the ball. Uh, I don't really believe that they have what it takes to replace these guys. You got Chandler Morris coming at quarter, replace Max Duggan. Max Duggan had so many intangibles. Chandler Morris somehow was actually this quarterback last before he got banged up, and I can basically job and just from him. I don't know if Chandler Morris is a guy, but he's got some big shoes to fill there. Kendra Miller at running back. They went out and they got Trey Sanders out of Alabama, the transfer in, former 5-star recruit. But let me tell you, he did like a 5-star recruit. So I don't know how much of an impact he's going to have. He lost Quentin Johnson, so the best receiver in America, first round draft pick. How do you replace something like that? I mean, you had Savion Williams back, who actually got a player, and he could kind of try to fill that void. But he's one guy, and there's just lot of a lot of holes here on the offensive side of the ball. But I think it's going to be made up for on the defense side of the ball. I think the defense, uh, Demonic Williams, Uh, Timon, excuse me, Timon Mitchell, Jamoy Hodge up front, Johnny Hodges. In the back end, you've got Mark Perry, Bud Clark, Abe Kamara, really good safety. Um, I think from front to back, I think very good. Probably one of the best defense. 12. Probably should have won it. So that said, Prime first game on the road against the National got offensive players move the ball, but I don't think they're gonna the ball. That's gonna be so for that. I'm gonna take straight up. Don't be surprised if you see a. Don't be surprised if Colorado or I'm sorry, if TCU cover. All right, let's move on to UVA. UVA just they're that is just a they have to remove the cloud of last. Uh, Gotten killed. It's just a sad moment for them. They played the last cloud over them. Figure out they have to figure out a path team and and he also has to do it on the field. Got to get players. I don't know what he's. Or I'm sorry. I believe that he needs portal any sort of to be at all competitive with the rest of the. I think they're about to walk into absolute buzzsaw, going explosive. Despite the fact some knows the offense. Drew McCoy, I think, and Tennessee defense runner gonna set the tone, and I really think he's about to be hurt. So let's move on. Ohio State, a game that I think about. First to talk about Indiana, this is going to be typical. This is going to be depending on your age, is going to be your daddy's Indiana. When I was younger, I remember trash team, you know, and I think that's. I don't think I like their wide receiver there, but I don't think they have Ohio State. Gotti on off Mario. Uh, Kyler McCord got named starter. McCord got named the starter at quarterback, and he's about to got to see what he's a former Blue Chip. And really got to take over absolute explosive, uh, explosive offense defensively. But if you guys saw the pre, I got Ohio State. I think they have placed. Uh, I think they're walk on the road. West Virginia. This I think Penn State's a really great college football. I mean, college football contender. Um, I think they have front to back. Well, up front they got Curtis J. Carter, the linebacker and the defensive line. Got people like Top Robinson, of course. Got some really players up front for this. So the defense is out going against a West Virginia offense that I think is actually a little better than you might think. Uh, Tony Mathis, Jay Donalds. Sorry, not Tony. Tony Mathis transferred, but Jay Donaldson's a player. Bradley might be the transferred. I think he's gonna have a really. They got Devin Carter, wide receiver. Wide receiver. They, or I should say, a good offensive coming back that they can really open up some holes for their running games. They might actually kind of. So it's really gonna be up to Penn State's offense, running back, freshmen. Nicholas. Uh, they got that step into shoes now. So that uh, they need. Uh, got a transfer from State actually. Made some plays out there. Surprised he transferred because targets player. So they got some receivers. It's all about quarterback are stepping in. Only got to see some, you know, other than some. So it's gonna be on him. I got Penn State winning. Don't be surprised if it goes for a hat. All right, UNC at South Carolina, and this is actually for anybody who's interested in gambling, that advocating gambling, but just for entertainment purposes, if you uh actually half a bet of the week, and my bet of the week is to take UNC and that 2.5 because I don't know what people are South Carolina strong football, competitive football that I don't see what South Carolina lost so much defensively, either the graduation transfer. I I I mean I'm not seeing it. I don't see the South Carolina defense offensively starting running. Sure, he wasn't. They lost their starting running back. Their offensive great, and you have a quarterback coming back. Sure, Spencer. And yeah, he's got two tight ends to throw to. Austin Wagner. Oh wait, right, he transferred. He's got another tight. Debo Samuels, even though he's not Debo Samuel, but well, oh no, wait, he also trained. So he doesn't have those tight. Guys, he has Antoine Wells at receiver, but I mean, I'm sorry, what am I missing? Because I don't see. I think South Carolina bad football team. Here, I think they're gonna be at the bottom with the North Carolina team. Drake May with a good running game. Yeah, he has to replace Josh Downs as a receiver, but Drake May is good at college wise. They're gonna move the ball easily covered half. So if you're interested. That is my bet of the week. On to LSU and State Sunday. Uh, rematch of last year was a thriller. They point. I actually thought Brian Kelly should have went for two. Situation here probably would have. But the bad call by Brian Kelly in that situation. Gonna make up for this. I think remember last year, Dan just was he was running everywhere. He looked like he didn't even know the offense. You know, Not until like the second half was it really clicking in the passing game. This year, I expect him to look different because he got a full year of offense, right? He's got good receiver on his league. Running back is an issue. When John Emery in rule game reasons, but I don't think they were expecting. I don't think he's got time. But they did get a transfer from here to see him play because I think are pretty. Uh, their offensive line last year they were so young. Now they're strongest state, who I don't believe has. Uh, Florida State could have an advantage secondary. Went transfer portal, and then they basically right. So back end is completely new transfers. Uh, you know, Southeastern. He was an FCS 7 banks. Miles. He did bring back a safety major, but Florida State rock. They should be able to move the ball. I think this last year's game was high scoring. I think this year's game is also going to be, I think, shootout and probably a thrilling game. LSU could have probably won last year's. And I'll finally Clemson at said it during preview mag. Clemson needs to watch out for this. I think Leonard's a good quarterback. They do right. Got receive. And Clemson's defense. I think there's still going to be a good defense. Not going to be the same defense of the past couple years. Um, Second. Sorry about that. But they're not going to be the same couple years. And Duke team is they're at home. Wells Wade. Not exactly a tough road environment for it. At the preview, I can see them getting pretty. It might pack the house for this. Try to come out. Give them advantage. I wasn't gonna do an upset because I don't see that's the, but if you want to look at potential upset or at least cover the spread, and Duke is a 2 touchdown underdog right now. I think they're like 13 and a half underdog right now at home. I'm going Clemson straight up, but don't be surprised if they can't cover that spread. I would like the 2 touchdowns at home with Duke and Riley Leonard. But anyways, that kind of wraps this up. Uh, as we get more into the season, I'll have more games, and let me know as I'm gonna post this on YouTube, and you'll see my YouTube tag here in a few seconds. But post on YouTube, please let me know in the comments if you want me to do more games, uh, or continue on that gambling aspect, which I'll certainly throw in more spreads and so forth. That ends this week's preview. Take care.